Hi guys, Tracy here with an art journal process video. I'm inspired by that photo of a man playing the piano outside of the former public library here in Halifax, and I've decided to start a new journal. It kind of inspired me. I'm going to do a journal. You guys know that my other art journal that I've been sharing with you guys is all about media and different media that influences me. This journal is going to be all about the world around me and the parts of the world that I love. And so I have my jelly plate here. I've been using my jelly plate quite a bit lately, and so I thought I would do something a little bit different with my art journal this time. So I have some, I'm going to warm up because what I want to do is actually pull a print right onto my art journal. But before I do that, I just want to warm up a little bit because I just want to get a sense of how much paint and what colors look good together. And I'm going to be using fall colors today. And it's actually the first time I've used fall colors since way last year. So I just want to play around and figure out what kind of a look I want. So I'm starting with white and yellow just to see just how bright this yellow is. And it's pretty bright. It's pretty bright. So I love yellow, but this is a little bit too much. So I'm going to just play around with this. I'm also just kind of playing around with what things look like when you pull prints with them. So that was a crinkled piece of tissue paper. And now this is a piece from a magazine that I had already made another color, and I didn't put any designs. I just wanted to see what the color would look like in this case. Even if you don't put any designs in a jelly plate, it still gets a painterly kind of a look to it with stroke marks, and the ink gets rolled out in kind of different ways. And so once I saw this beautiful orange that the yellow and red made when it was together, I knew I wanted that for my background. And so I just took a print with my art journal, and look at that. Isn't that beautiful? I think that color looks really great. The leftovers of that looked really great with that turquoise that I had already on that set of labels, and that turquoise on the set of labels was pulled from my jelly plate on another jelly plate session. And so that kind of inspired me to maybe pull in some turquoises. And so I've got yellow, green, and turquoise here. And I'm going to kind of mix these together. I don't want them to get too mixed, so I kept them separate at first. And oh, I love that. I know right away. I didn't even try it, and I knew I would love it. So I just pressed it right onto my book, and that's what I got. Now, because you can't press quite as carefully with a book as you can with a single piece of paper, it didn't come out quite as clearly and as nicely as I would have liked, but I still think it makes a beautiful art journal page. So I think the thing with jelly plates that you have to give up is the idea of control. It just kind of smushes around and looks whatever way it looks, and usually it looks pretty beautiful. So you see me there using the leftover ink that stuck to my stencil. That's a Stencil Girls stencil, by the way. And the paints that I'm using are Liquitex Basics paints. I love Liquitex paints. And so I had actually gone to the art store to buy some paints that were on sale, but I didn't like the colors. It was the Pebeo brand, or Pebeo. I don't know how you pronounce that, but I got to the art store and they were on sale, but I didn't like the colors as much as I liked the Liquitex colors. So I got a couple more Liquitex colors because I didn't have a huge selection. And now I have a bigger selection, so that's kind of nice. So you saw me just clean off my jelly plate with a baby wipe, and this is not a tutorial on how to use the jelly plate. I don't use it all that often, but basically it's a gelatinous jelly-like substance that you can see there. It's just like a block, and you pour paint on it, and it basically allows you to do monoprints, which means one-of-a-kind prints that you just press into the paint-filled jelly plate, and then when you pull the paper off, it has a beautiful one-of-a-kind print on it. And so you can see that it's pretty easy to clean. You just wipe it up with a baby wipe, and it's good to store it right in the clamshell that it comes in, and I just keep the little pieces of acetate that protect it. Now, when I was at the art store getting paints, I bought one of these small jelly plates, and I plan to, what I love about it is that it's so tiny, you could actually use it as a stamp. So you could get some designs on it and then just press it onto your project and then peel the jelly plate off of your off of your project instead of the other way around. So I was intrigued by that idea, and I thought I might want to have like a tree on my page. And so that's why I was looking through those magazines. I was looking for something that I could actually put under the jelly plate. Because it's see-through, you can put something under it and then paint over it and use the drawing underneath as a guide. And I thought I might put like a tree on this page, but I gave up on that because I couldn't find a tree, and I know I can't draw a tree. I don't have very good drawing skills at all. So I have decided to just go with more abstract designs on this page instead of trying to find a tree and transferring it to my page with the jelly plate. I'll use that jelly plate another time. So I'm just using my heat gun to dry this stencil and the paint that is applied with the jelly plate and the stencil. And I really love how that looks. I think those hearts from the Stencil Girl stencil look a lot like falling leaves. And so that's what I really love about this, is that it turned out to look like that. Now this is some Liquitex ink. The color is called Iridescent Rich Bronze. And I'm using this to kind of anchor my page and also to cover up the little splot that was left when the paper didn't quite meet the jelly plate close enough or firmly enough. And so I just drizzled that on, and then I just used a damp paintbrush. I did dry it off a little bit to move it around a little bit on my page. I don't want this page to get too wet. Now this wood grain stencil from Tim Holtz is, I think, perfect for a fall theme. And so I'm going to use some Distress ink. I have peeled paint and shabby shutters picked out right there, and right now I'm just applying the peeled paint Distress ink with my little dauber, my little round dauber, and I thought I would put a little bit more here. I do like to repeat the patterns on my art journal pages, and generally what I like to do is have one section be a large chunk of a particular print, and then have a smaller amount of that same print or stamp or whatever show up someplace else. So I'm just grabbing more ink, and this is gold, also Liquitex ink, and it leaves really nice opaque splats of gold all over the page. So I just use my Hottie Swap nozzle to get smaller dribbles. If I use the nozzle that comes with the ink, I get really giant splats, and I was looking for more of a fine splatter look. I love the dimension that this ink leaves in splatters on your page. They stand up a little bit off the page, especially when they land on top of paint that's already dried. So now I'm thinking about how I'm going to add my photo to my page, and I want a vessel to attach it to. And so this tag looks about right. And then I realized I had some Fancy Pants tags. I forget which collection these were from, but I know that they're from Fancy Pants, and they're so pretty. It might be from the Atwell collection. And they're beautiful fall colors, so I decided to use the yellow one. The other ones were just a little bit too bold and colorful, and I don't want it to be too, I want the photo to be the main emphasis of this. So I punched out a little circle to use as a mask for my reinforcer, but I'm not going to end up needing it. I have another Tim Holtz mask here. I use these a lot in art journaling and so on, and I just put some little dots on there with the Shabby Shutters Distress ink and my dauber, cleaning up the template a little bit. I definitely want to layer something else on this. I thought about the feather, but it's going to be covered by the photo, right? So I took some Mr. Huey's mist. The color is called Sunshine, and that is a Studio Calico mask that I used. And I love that radial grid mask. It's one of my favorites. As you can tell, it's very well used. And now I'm just going to dry that mist with my heat gun, and I really love how the liquid of the mist really pools up, and it leaves this beautiful texture and interest on the tag. And I love it so much that I don't want to cover it all the way up. So I'm going to shift my photo so that it's over to the side, and that's how I'm going to attach the photo onto the page, is via that tag. This is a really quick page, and I don't think it's finished yet either. I'm still kind of thinking about adding some more to this page. It's sort of done. It's done-ish, so that's why I'm making the process video. I decided that I wanted light coming out from behind the photo. And so the first step of this is to add some vellum. And this vellum has leaves on it, and it's from Stampin' Up, and I really, really love it. And so that lightens the area behind the photo, but I'm also going to paint behind the photo. But the vellum, because it kind of makes the page hazy behind where like the things that it covers, you're not going to see where the paint ends. I want the paint to kind of just gradually go from concentrated to nothing. And so I'm putting a little bit of paint on my plate there. This is Liquitex acrylic. And I'm just painting a little square. You saw me make little pencil marks of where the vellum goes, and I'm just painting so that this opaque square is fitting inside of the vellum so that the edges of that square will be completely covered by the vellum. And then you see where I kind of let my brush go really dry, and I moved the paint so that so that the square is now a little bit bigger, but it's faded all the way around, so that you're just going to see the faded strokes. You're not going to see the concentrated part coming out around the vellum. Most of the concentrated part will be completely covered by vellum. So I have my foam stamps here, and I need a bit more paint, more white paint, because I want white in more than just the one place. I thought about stamping, but just the shape of the plate, it's easier to just brush onto the foam stamp and stamp it that way. So I have these 4 places it ends up being that I put the dots, and then I'm putting some more dots in a circular shape this time. This is another foam stamp. It could be from Claudine Helmuth. I can't quite remember. I was not good at keeping and this is more of that iridescent bronze. I was not good at keeping the packaging for any of my art journal supplies. I started art journaling without any intention of ever videotaping it, so I didn't keep any of the information on what's what. And it's all very old. Most of my supplies are quite old. I think I started in 2009 or 2010. So now I want to put some scrapbooking elements on this. My art journal pages are always very scrapbooky. I like scrapbooking supplies, and I like to put them on my art journal pages. So I'm looking for some stickers. I want some label stickers, and I noticed this musical note sticker that is perfect for a page about a piano player. So see how that gives you just this kind of glowiness that comes out from around the piano. And here I'm going to goof up a little bit. I'm putting this vellum backwards, and you can't really see the pattern very well because of it. And then when I go to change it, of course, the glue is now on the outside of it, which is not going to work very well. So I'm going to take another piece of this vellum. I'm going to cut it to exactly the same size as the original piece was. So sorry that I didn't zoom out for this, but I'm just cutting it to, I think, 3 1/4 by almost 4 or something. This journal is a Dilutions creative journal, and the pages are 5 by 8. Each individual sheet. So a spread is I guess it would be 10 by 8. And so I'm just taking some label stickers that I picked from my stash there, and I'm layering them up in this top corner to balance off with the bottom corner, so that's just diagonally across from where my photo is. And the arrow picks up on some of the green that's elsewhere in the page. And then I really loved these little word stickers, these little typewritten word stickers. So I just had to shift them around a little bit so that they looked the way I wanted them. I wanted one kind of falling off the edge and neither of them overlapping each other or the photo. And now I just needed another sticker here. You can never have too many stickers. I'm getting ink on the stickers as I move them around with my dirty fingers, but that's okay because it just makes them look like they belong there. I'm using my Tombow Mono multi-adhesive to glue the tag and the photo to the vellum, which is overlapping the sticker, and then that white patch of paint. I'm nearing completion on this one, or at least completion for now, so I just had to bend that sticker and make sure that it was going to work with the fold of the page. And so now I'm just having a look at my letter stickers because I need to put a title. My title is going to go right over those label stickers that are layered together. And I would love to use these because they have this they're letter stickers from Bo Bunny that are, they're made out of like a printed old newspaper, and I really love them, but you can't see what the letters are. Like, you can't find them on the sheet. They disappear into the pattern. So I just gave up on trying to use them. I instead used a jelly bean soup to spell out Halifax, and at first I was going to put Halifax in autumn, and then it made better sense to say autumn in Halifax. The reason I was stuck on that idea is that this album, this art journal, is going to be all about places, and so I had it in my mind that Halifax had to be the first word in this title because it's about the place. So no, it makes much better grammatical sense to say autumn in Halifax. Of course, you want to say autumn in New York whenever you say that, but no, this is autumn in Halifax. Quite different, quite slower pace. I do love a big city, and Halifax is not big, but it's got a little bit of bustle and a little bit of noise, and I do like going for a walk in the autumn in New York, in Halifax. My heart is in New York. I won't get to go this year though. So I am just taking this is my Dilutions paint pen that I'm using to outline the tag, and now I switched to my Dilutions white paint pen, and I'm outlining all the way around all of those letters, and I'm actually filling in the space in between. See how I'm doing that? I'm just making it again so that it looks like there's a little bit of a white glow, or to make it look like these letter stickers are on a white background, or like there's this white shadow all the way around them. I zoomed in a little bit more so that you could see what I was doing there. And it's very messy work, so, mess it up. It's fine. I love being messy and sketchy in my art journal and not caring about whether the lines are straight and whether you missed a little gap every here or there or whatever. I did decide to fill in the space between the words autumn and in. I traced the XOXO on that cross-stitched sticker, and now I'm just outlining the whole entire page. And sorry that I forgot to zoom out. I'm outlining it in black, and then I'm going back and I'm outlining it in white. And my white pen stopped working for some reason. I love the Dilutions paint pen, but it just seemed to get clogged. So instead of trying to unclog it, I just switched to my Pen Touch, which is a Sakura paint pen. And it works without any trouble ever. So it's always a good one to have as your backup. So that's what it looks like. Now I'm just going to add my journaling, and I'm going to read it to you, and then I'll cut out anything that's left over here. So it says, pardon me. It's that time of year again when the leaves are falling and sweater weather is upon us. I love the fall, especially in downtown Halifax, where busy shoppers and people on work breaks crowd the streets wearing scarves and fashion boots. Oh, wait a minute. I put 3 O's in boots. That's a problem. Oh well. The air has an energy that gets you moving, and it's cool, but not cold enough that you have to bundle up. Walking along Spring Garden Road, past the public gardens, then the shops, the new and old libraries, heading to the art store on Barrington Street. I've passed this old piano by the Winston Churchill statue outside the old library many times, but today a man played old-time tunes for passers-by. That's like the world's longest run-on sentence, I think. But it's my art journal, so it's very casual, and I want my art journal to sound the way that I talk, so I rarely ever plan out what I'm writing. I mean, I plan it sometimes, but I don't ever write out word for word what I want to say in my art journal because I wanted to have a conversational, informal feel to it. And my way of speaking, because of the part of the world that I live in and where I grew up, is pretty casual. And so I want my journal to be true to me. And this Dylusions paint pen is so smooth on paint. It's just over acrylic paint and over almost anything. It just glides, and it really allows you to have your own handwriting and not have to kind of, worry about bumps and kind of going over and over in order to get the line that you want. It kind of takes away from the look of your handwriting. So I'm showing you the close-ups now. I'm not entirely sure that this page is done. It feels a little too orangey for my liking. I might go back and add some more yellow or even maybe touches of red, but it's done enough. So I think I'm going to leave it, and then I might come back to it. I am a lot more likely to add to an art journal page than I am to a scrapbook page. So it's very possible that you'll see this again. If I do add to it, I will show you. But for now, it's finished anyhow. So I have some photos here. They were taken with my phone, so they're a little bit harsher than the ones that I take with my DSLR, but they should show you lots of details and mixed media yumminess that's on this page. This was a really different color scheme for me, definite departure from pinks and whites and greens and blues that I typically use. So I really, really enjoyed it. It also gave me a chance to work with that beautiful bronze brown color, which is just so warm and beautiful, and I love how it gives that depth to the bottom of the page and just anchors the page a little bit. So thanks so much for watching, and have a really great scrappy week.